Hello everyone, we are going to discuss malabsorption syndrome. Malabsorption is characterized by defective absorption of fat and water-soluble vitamins, proteins, carbohydrates, electrolytes, minerals, and water. Usually presents with chronic diarrhea. So there is disturbance in at least one of the 4 phases of nutrient absorption which lead to malabsorption. Disturbance at level of intraluminal digestion, or there is defect at terminal digestion, or defect in transepithelial transport, or defective lymphatic transport. So defect at the level of intraluminal digestion is either due to exocrine pancreatic insufficiency or due to reduced bile salt concentration in the intestine, which could be due to liver disease, cholestasis, bacterial overgrowth, or interruption of enterohepatic circulation of bile cells, or due to any inflammatory bowel disease. Defect at terminal digestion is due to celiac disease, tropical screw, autoimmune enteropathy, disaccharidase deficiency, gastroenteritis, and inflammatory bowel disease. Transepithelial transport defect is seen in Crohn's disease, celiac disease, tropical screw, primary bile acid malabsorption, carcinoid syndromes, autoimmune enteropathy, A-beta lipoproteinemia, gastroenteritis, and inflammatory bowel disease. When malabsorption is due to lymphatic transport defect, it could be due to obstruction of lymphatic system, which could be congenital or acquired. Congenital cause is intestinal lymphangiectasia, and acquired cause is it includes Whipple's disease, neoplasms, or tuberculosis of intestine, or impaired absorption of chylomicrons and lipoproteins. Symptoms of malabsorption. Hallmark of malabsorption is steatorrhea. Other symptoms include abdominal pain, weight loss, muscle wasting, vomiting, anemia, which could be iron deficiency anemia or megaloblastic anemia, edema, and symptoms of secondary vitamin deficiency. Now, the first malabsorption syndrome disease, celiac disease, also known as gluten sensitive enteropathy. It is non-infectious cause of malabsorption resulting from reduction in small interstitial absorptive surface area. So, as the name suggests, gluten sensitive enteropathy, it is triggered by ingestion of gluten, which is present in cereals like wheat, rye, barley, and oat. Genetics involved in celiac diseases, it is associated with HLA-DQ2 or HLA-DQ8. Other genes involved are polymorphisms of immune regulatory genes interleukin-2, interleukin-21, CCR3, SH2B3, and genes determining epithelial polarity. Celiac disease could be associated with other autoimmune diseases in ataxia or autism, IgA nephropathy, Down syndrome, and Turner syndrome. Now, coming to pathogenesis of celiac disease. Gluten is the major storage protein of cereals, and gliadin is the component of gluten which is responsible for the disease, celiac disease. as it is resistant to degradation by gastric, pancreatic and intestinal proteases. So gliadin is responsible for celiac disease, which is a component of gluten. So how gliadin will act? Gliadin induces epithelial cells to express interleukin 15, which will further activate and lead to proliferation of CD8 lymphocytes. So one agent involved is interleukin 15. Then gliadin will lead to expression of NKG2D, natural killer cell marker, which will lead to lysis of androcytes. The deaminated gliadin will interact with HLA-DQ2 or DQ8, which are present on APC gene, and will present it to CD4 T cells. These T cells will release cytokines and will lead to tissue damage. Celiac sprue or celiac disease. Histological abnormalities ranges from normal villus architecture to total villus atrophy. So, villi will be affected, either total villus atrophy or normal villus architecture is maintained. So, abnormality at the level of villi. There is increased intraepithelial lymphocytes. Crypt hyperplasia is there with increased mitosis and increased endocrine cells. Lamina propria shows increased lymphocytes, plasma cells and eosinophils. There is reduced number and height of microvilli, and lipid vacuoles will be seen in enterocytes. So the normal villus height to crypt length ratio, villi, these are villi and these are crypt. So the normal villus to crypt ratio is 2.5:1. So celiac sprue severity is graded into grade 1, 2, 3 and 4 on the basis of this ratio. If the ratio is between 2 to 2.5, then it is grade 1, and if less than 0.5, it is grade 4. Presence of crypt hyperplasia. Crypt hyperplasia is characterized by there is increase in length of the crypt and reduction in the normal villus crypt ratio. So there is increase in length of the crypt and increased number of mitotic figures in the crypt. The surface enterocytes may be normal or flattened or damaged. Brush borders may be preserved or lost. Intraepithelial lymphocyte component is more than 40 per 100 epithelial cells in celiac disease. So, Marsh grading or classification of celiac disease. Type 1 is infiltrative lesion, in which there is intraepithelial lymphocytosis and normal villus architecture is maintained. Villi are absolutely normal, but there is increased intraepithelial lymphocytes. Type 2 is hyperplastic lesion, in which intraepithelial lymphocytosis is seen and crypt hyperplasia is noted with normal villus architecture. So, difference between 1 and 2 is there is crypt hyperplasia in 2. So, hyperplastic lesion. Type 3 is destructive lesion. In type 3, there is villus atrophy. And type 4 is hypoplastic lesion. Means normal IL count, normal crypt length and villus atrophy. So this is the micro photograph showing celiac disease. This is the biopsy from second portion of duodenum. In this you are seeing increased intraepithelial lymphocytes. There is flattening or devoid of villi. Lamina propria shows lymphocytes and plasma cells. Crypt hyperplasia. This is another micro photograph of celiac disease. In this you are seeing villi are totally lost. There is loss of villi, atrophy of villi, and crypt hyperplasia. There is crypt hyperplasia and increased mitotic activity. In diagnosis of celiac disease, serological testing is very important. So, antibodies seen are anti-gliadin antibodies, anti-endomycin antibodies, and anti-tissue transglutaminase. Lab tests include tests for absorptive dysfunction, specific tests for diagnosis of celiac disease, and tests on follow-up. So, laboratory tests for malabsorption includes electrolytes and biochemistry tests. Electrolyte imbalances will be seen like hypokalemia, hypocalcemia, hypomagnesemia, and metabolic acidosis. Evidence of malabsorption will be present, such as hypoalbuminemia, hypoproteinemia, hypocholesterolemia, and low serum creatinine level may be seen. Hematological tests will include HB, as anemia may be seen due to deficiency of iron, folate, or B12. Dimorphic picture will be seen. Low serum iron level will be there, and prothrombin time is increased due to malabsorption of vitamin K. Stool examination will be helpful. Stools will be bulky, greasy in appearance, and rancid odor. Sudan stain for fat droplets may be done. Then quantitative measurement of 72-hour fecal fat for documenting steatorrhea. If fat is more than 6 gram per 24 hours, it is diagnostic of malabsorption. Oral tolerance test. Excretion of breath hydrogen, a product of bacterial fragmentation of unabsorbed lactose, is often elevated in celiac stool. Oral D-xylose tolerance test could be performed, and Schilling test could be helpful. Now the tropical sprue. Tropical sprue is seen in people living in or visiting the tropics. Changes are similar to celiac disease, but villus atrophy is uncommon. It is usually seen in distal small bowel, so there is increased risk of folate or B12 deficiency. Malabsorption becomes apparent within days or few weeks of an acute diarrheal enteric infection in visitors. Now, Whipple's disease. It is a chronic disease caused by Proferima whipplei, a gram-positive actinomycetes. Organism-laden macrophages accumulate within the small intestinal lamina propria and mesenteric lymph nodes, leading to lymphatic obstruction, which further lead to malabsorption. Mucosal biopsy will show distended foamy macrophages in lamina propria containing Pas-positive diastase-resistant granules that represent lysosomes stuffed with partially digested organisms. Villus expansion may be seen and lymphatic dilatation may be seen. So, microphotograph showing foamy macrophages filled with organisms. Another disease is A-beta lipoproteinemia. It is due to mutation in MTP, microsomal triglyceride transfer protein. MTP deficient enterocytes unable to export lipoproteins and free fatty acids. Last disease is lactase deficiency, disaccharidase deficiency. In this, malabsorption of lactose will occur.